DEI is totally illegal. Like if you look at the laws on the books, discriminating based on any immutable characteristic is illegal in the United States. The fact that it has been around this long is a testament to the fact that, honestly, the left has been so powerful in the United States, even though they'll scream and cry about how they're marginalized, et cetera. That has been the status quo for the better part of 2 decades, probably the better part of the past 40 or 50 years. California
has it codified in state law. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there, the battle of Trump v. Newsom.
This is what you need. You need, because the thing with executive orders, of course, is, and the worry is that, I mean, they're great in this case, but then the next guy can come in, the next Democrat can come in and just reverse everything just as quickly as Trump is wiping out whatever Biden did. The same could happen to him. And that's why you need Congress to come in behind these executive orders and codify them into law so that it's not quite so easy to just wipe them out from existence. And that can be done easily with this DEI stuff. And although it is, to both of your points, it is already very much illegal to do this. This is racial profiling, racial discrimination. You could still have could and should have a federal law that bans this explicitly on the basis that it's a human rights violation because you're discriminating against people based on their race.
He got rid of affirmative action and contracting for the federal government too.
Good.
Yeah, that stuff should be illegal.
Yeah.
It's remarkable to me that in the 60s, we're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have this discrimination stuff. And then shortly thereafter, they said, maybe we should bring it right back on top of the existing law banning it.
The thing about discrimination is if you say people of that kind can't do this, that's discrimination. But also people of that kind get this. That's also discrimination. It's positive discrimination. So it goes both ways.
And I think it's fascinating, too, because you were right that Trump has already done more in 2-3 days than Biden did in 4 years. But Trump has also arguably done more in 2 or 3 days than he himself did in 4 years in his first term. And the difference is, well, there's of course, a lot has changed, and he's learned a lot from the first term. He's got a much better team. But the other thing, too, is that, and this was always the irony of him being labeled a dictator, is that in his first term, he was the opposite of it. In fact, if anything, he had the opposite, he erred too much in the opposite direction, in that he was very shy about wielding his executive power. This time around, he realizes that, hey, I have this power, I can use it, and so I'm going to.
It was to the point where it was a meme. People on the right were saying, please give us the Trump that the left swears that he is. Give us the authoritarian Trump that the left thinks he is.
But when you say Trump did more in 2 days than Biden did in his entire presidency, the issue I take with that statement is that Biden was effectively rolling backwards in his wheelchair down a hill, and Trump is actually climbing the hill. You know what I mean? So I would argue Biden did a whole lot to damage and burn this country down.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. Trump did more in 2 days to help the country. Joe Biden did literally nothing. What ATM fees was a proposal of his.
Yeah,
that was the only
there's got to be
thing.
one nice thing, at least one nice thing.
Yeah, the ATM fees.
ATM fees.
He paid off my student loans. I didn't ask. I didn't sign up for anything. I just got some stupid check in the mail. You paid your loans for 20 years, so you get all your money back, and now you get to pay for it as a taxpayer. I mean, egregious.
It was reversed.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yep, they turned to zero. But I was like, thanks for the 11 grand, dude.
That's not a nice thing.
No, it wasn't. But he did
it's like
not to everyone else.
It's what's
I don't know how to rectify it.
I think people need to understand that Robin Hood wasn't stealing from the rich to give to the poor. He was stealing from the government.
The king.
Yeah. Hey,
right. It was the sheriff who was collecting all the taxes. So in this instance, what Ian is referring to is quite literally the government stealing from the poor to give to the highest income earners in the country.
If you want to correct it, the IRS will accept money.
I can just send them a check.
You can just send them the check.
Shane, on the Green Show earlier, you were saying that Trump wouldn't. Plus, I've heard this sentiment online too, is that if he had gotten to be president in 2020, he wouldn't have had this zeal. He wouldn't have had this.
I saw Andy No say that.
Oh, yeah.
He had to go through the trials and tribulations of the last 4 years, I think, to get the Trump we got the last 2 days.
I think that's probably it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had the same team behind him either.
Yeah.
Or the Senate or Congress. I mean, come on.
It's almost as if he went through divine trials.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
earn and understand his place, narrowly avoiding death, but by the turn of his head that made him a forceful president, and we've only seen a couple days.
That's why his portrait looks the way it does.
I think it's a really good representation of the hero's journey, and I don't necessarily think that Donald Trump is coming in to save every single person in the country, but I do think he's coming to redeem the boomer generation. I think that's a big part of this. Is he's like, we are going to fix a lot of the things that the boomers did to wreck the country.
You know, what matters to me a lot is the pardoning of Ross Ulbricht, and I know for libertarians it's largely about the core issues of the case. To me, those matter. But what makes me a bit more emotional here is that Donald Trump, of all the things he promised, the DEI firings, these people are in his way. Trump has an agenda. He wants to secure the border. He's got a mission that he believes in. And he's going to fire these people, not just because he promised to do it, but he promised to do it because these are people who obstructed him and wronged him. He already got the libertarian vote. He already won. He's not running for office again. So what does he really benefit by taking the political risk of making this move to keep his word and pardon Russ Ulbricht? Well, he offered his word.
Yeah.
And what I see for America is Barack Obama made promises not kept. Wars, expansion. George W. Bush, wars and expansion. Yep. And Joe Biden, wars and expansion. And Donald Trump said, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. He had like a statement on this. They asked him and he said, I don't really care about the guy, but I promised I'd do it. So I did. And that matters. That matters for the spirit of this country and what young people are going to see in their president. I said, I'll do it. And I did.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.